Hello again, my name is Douglas. Welcome back to my channel. What type or kind of car should you buy in retirement? Cars these days are all pretty good. They've all raised their game in the last 20 years or so, so what type or kind of car should you buy or have in retirement? It's not as simple a question as it might sound. Lots of things influence it. I'm not going to question whether or if you should have a car. I'm just going to assume that you want one. If cars are of no interest to you, skip to the next video. Right. Is the car just for you? Is it for you to share with somebody else? Is it just you who will drive it? Do they have the same needs and likes as you in their transport? Do you have a dog, cat, horse or any other animals to cater for? Do you live in the country? Do you live in the town? Do you have a garage, parking space, or do you park it on the street? Do you visit or live in a big city with traffic penalties, congestion charges or the like? What's more important? Comfort and space, performance, economy, size, eco-features, reliability, insurance costs, servicing and repair costs, nearby dealer availability. Do you need or want a four-wheel drive, saloon, estate, SUV? Do you like the driving position high or low? How about in-car entertainment, aircon, climate control, noise levels? And there's engine type and size to consider too. Petrol, diesel, electric. Less common these days maybe is LPG. I've had two LPG cars, both conversions from petrol and both very good and economical too. There's a lot to be said for any of these types of propulsion, both for and against. As you've got older, your insurance costs have almost certainly risen. Insurance companies penalise you for being young and inexperienced, and then they penalise you again for being old and very experienced. Go figure, as the Americans say. If you've got plenty of money, this might not matter to you, but if, like most of us retirees, you don't have limitless funds, your premium might matter a lot. And this in turn, that'll affect your car choice. I checked what it would cost for me to insure myself and my wife in a 4-litre Range Rover valued at about $60,000 the other day. Not that I was going to buy one. In the last couple of years, we've heard of Range Rovers being practically uninsurable in some postcodes, so out of interest I checked. I don't live in a high-risk postcode, but even so I was pleasantly surprised to see a quote of $2,270 for a year, fully comprehensive. Admittedly, I have maximum no claims discount, but against reports of folk being asked to pay $7,000 to $10,000, it didn't seem too bad. Back to you now, assuming that price does have an impact on your car choice. Electric cars, top-of-the-range cars, are always going to be expensive. Cars loaded with tons of electronic gadgetry are also going to be expensive to insure, as are most high-performance or exotic cars. So what priority do you give your car over other things that you need? What are you prepared to compromise on? What are you prepared to sacrifice? I know a chap who bought himself a brand new Jaguar F-Type sports car when he retired, although he lived in a 3-bed semi on an old council estate. He'd always promised himself he'd get one when he retired. So he did. 50,000 quid's worth. He said he'd keep it for a couple of years and then sell it. He just wanted the pleasure and fun of it for a while. He knew he'd lose a lot of money, but he was prepared to do that, to satisfy his big ambition. Most retirees will end up in the small to medium car category, I expect. We tend not to have lots of people to cart around and we don't have to move house very much or very often. We might have a dog or two, but most cars, even if they're not estate cars, have folding rear seats, so getting your Pyrenean mountain dog in the back isn't out of the question. And even small cars are surprisingly roomy these days, not to mention the fact that small cars aren't that small anymore. You look at a Vauxhall Corsa, for example. The current version is about the same size as the old version of the Vauxhall Astra. How big that used to be. Economy? Almost any small or medium car these days will have no trouble giving you 50 plus miles per gallon. Hybrid electrics even more. and diesels too. Mind you, the hybrid electrics, in my experience, are not usually as good as the manufacturer's figures show. One thing I forgot to mention earlier about electric cars, pure electric ones as opposed to hybrids. If you like to take your car abroad, check the charging situation in the countries you're going to before you go. If you're not based in the UK, the same things apply. Check your hire car is suitable for all the countries you'll be visiting. And bear in mind, all cars will cost you money to maintain, sometimes lots of money, regardless of the brand. They're not indestructible, they wear out, they need regular servicing. Unless you're a dealer, you'll always lose money on them. And skimping on service and repairs is not a good idea either. You're just delaying the inevitable and inviting a bigger bill later. So, how do you decide what to do? Look at the questions at the start of this video. Allocate your priorities. What do you need and what do you want? Which is more important? Can your needs and wants be satisfied entirely by any one make or model? Well, electric cars, just for a minute, Germany, France, Netherlands, they're all pretty good. Beware that some countries have their own particular phone apps that you might need to download. So it's really important that you check specific countries before you go. In all honesty, hard to find one car that will satisfy you entirely. You're very likely going to have to compromise. Compromise somewhere to get as close as you can. Give it some serious thought because you'll be spending a good chunk of cash. Good luck. That's all for this video. If you think it worthwhile, maybe you could give it a like, maybe subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with any new videos. And thanks for watching to the end. See you on the next one. Bye for now.